Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. What we're going to be doing in this video is carrying out a flexible brake pipe replacement on the rear of the Kia Picanto. If you haven't seen the other videos that I've done in the series with the Kia, please feel free to go back, have a look through the channel and see them. Hopefully there'll be something there that'll help you out. In the meantime, however, let's get the wheels off. I've got it jacked up already. Let's get the wheels off and have a look at what we're going to be replacing. That one was tight. Right then, so what we're going to be replacing in this video, let's get all the dirt off, is this pipe here. It goes from here, from this union. This is just a regular brake union, which as you can see is just covered in mud. I'll give that a good clean with the wire brush in a moment. Comes all the way down here to this point, to this banjo bolt. Now again, this was an advisory on the MOT for corrosion. Now, again, I'm not convinced that it's actually that bad. They'd probably have cleaned up, but I've got the replacements anyway. So let's get on with the job of replacing them. Obviously, one thing to bear in mind with this job is if you're not confident working with brakes, then check with somebody who is. Obviously these are the systems that are put in place on a vehicle in order to help prevent an accident. So if you're not 100% competent or confident, either or, then ensure that you seek advice from somebody who is. Okay, don't go and attempt this job unless you're fully aware of what you're doing. Okay, right then, let's get the new parts out and then strip off these ones. Okay, so I've got two brake hoses, one for each side. Now, they are handed, so it's worth bearing that in mind. And this one is the one for this side. So, as you can see, it goes from there all the way to there. And there's a small bracket here holding it in position. So, what we need to do first off is remove this one. So what I need to do is I need to collect a jar in order to catch the brake fluid, because obviously we will lose brake fluid when we're braking in the system, and I don't want it all over my driveway. So I'll go grab a jar and I'll be right back. So here we are with my jar, obviously Hellman's mayonnaise. So what we're going to do is first remove the banjo bolt, put the end of the hose into the jar, allow it to drain into there. That way we won't get it all over the driveway. I'm also then going to remove this bracket. What this is it's a small plate that requires prizing out in order to free the brake pipe from the bracket. And then once we've done that, we'll remove the union from the top end of the brake pipe. As you can see, it's threaded inside there. That union goes into there through the inside of the bracket. Now this bracket here is much the same as this one. It's a small plate that holds it all together. Again, with a pair of pliers, we'll just prise that out. Okay, so what we're going to do first off is we're going to attempt to remove these brackets. And they can be a bit of a pain if they've been in there a little while. As you can see, it is starting to move. Let's give it a little wiggle. It will come eventually. Come on. can see that one came out fairly easily. The other one's exactly the same as that, but obviously that one just wanted to come out a bit easier. This one, you don't have as much room to get in order to remove it, unfortunately. Let's see if I can get in there with the screwdriver. What I'll do, I risk punching myself in the face when I slip with these. I'm just going to get it off and then come back to it once. I'll come back to you once I've got it out. And there we go. Finally got it out. That one was a little bit more difficult, but it's off now anyway. So as you can see, what we'll do is once we've disconnected it, we can feed the line through, and yeah, we can get it off. Right. For the next thing I'm going to do is release this banjo bolt. 12mm socket. And as you can see, here comes the fluid. As I said before, just make sure you've got somewhere to catch it in and you'll be fine. You will get a bit on the floor probably. It's just the nature of the beast. And there we go. Alright then. What we need to do quickly is feed this through the bracket, and then it can go back in the jar, just like that. Okay. So let's leave that draining in there, and then what we're going to do next is remove that union from the pipe. Now, what I've got for this job is I've got specific brake pipe spanners, and as you can see, they've got 6 sides to them, and with a slot which allows you to put it over the brake line. These are perfect for this job because they're less likely to slip, rounding off the unions. 9 times out of 10 you'll get them out perfectly. The only thing I need to do here is I need a flathead spanner, sorry, an open-ended spanner should I say, just to hold this union, and then we should be able to crack it off. Okay, so we've got a spanner on. And there we are, that's it. She's gone. It's very, very corroded. Okay, let's just lay that down there. Now, as you can see, the fluid's now wanting to come out of the end of the solid line. So what we're going to do quickly is identify the correct part, which is this one. Feed it through, just like we did before. And as you can see, there's part of the bracket which sits on the flats. Now what's going to happen is the fluid's going to start coming out of here instead. So what we'll do, move the jar under there and then quickly wind this down. what I'll do, get my spanner back on there, and then make sure it's nice and tight. Okay. Right. Now, what I can do now is I can fit one of those plates back in place. I'll get a mallet on that in a second and give it a good tap. Now, back at this end, right, as you can see, there was a copper washer on there. Now, peculiarly, there wasn't one on the bolt, which I do find odd, because there should be. Not really sure how that wasn't leaking, if I'm being brutally honest, unless it was. Ah, there it is. Yeah, it's actually on the still stuck on the pipe. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and get a couple of brand new ones, because I've got spares. Get a couple of brand new ones, and then we can replace them. Right then, so back at this end, what we need to do is fit a copper washers. Now both of these have been annealed, which makes them nice and soft, so they make a good seal. One's obviously got to go on the inside. Okay, right, nice and tight, and there we go. Right, so I've got the two plates in. What I'm going to do, give them a little tap down with the mallet, and as you can see, they're nice and solid in there now. So there we are. That is this side replaced. All I've got to do now is the other side, and then once I've done the other side, we'll come back and we'll bleed the system up. So I'll crack on the other side, and I'll come back to him. We'll deal with the bleeding. Okay, so I've managed to do the other side. Pipe was changed exactly the same way. No great shakes there. It was pretty straightforward. Now what we need to do is obviously bleed the system up. Now, don't know if you can see that, but the fluid level is now below the low, because obviously some of it drained out in the process of removing the pipes. Now, as it says on here, you need to clean the filler cap before removing. Reason for this is because obviously it gets covered in rubbish and dirt and all that good stuff. Now, what we don't want is for all that dirt to end up inside the fluid reservoir, because that would be bad. So give it a good clean before I take it off. And here's the fluid I'm going to use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fluid transfer pump, which again I've given a good clean to make sure it's not been contaminated with anything else. And I'm going to use this transfer brake fluid into the reservoir, because it's a bit of a funny angle and I don't want to spill it everywhere, because it's not very good for paint work or anything like that. It is corrosive, and it will blister paint and it will damage any surface finishes on anything. So what we don't want to do is get brake fluid on anything other than into the reservoir where we want it to go. So that'll probably be more than enough. So let's just make sure that's nice and clean. Put the cap back on. And then what we're going to do is remove the filler cap, and then just gently, really slowly, just add some fluid. Now obviously there is a max line. We don't want to go over that really, but it's not too bad if we do, because we can just drain it out through the bleed nipple during the bleed process. So a little bit more. Took a bit more than I was anticipating, to be honest. And there we go. That's as much as we want to put in. Let's put the cap back on, stop any leaks for the moment. Now the excess fluid I'm going to put back. Right then, what we need to do next is bleed the fluid down to the calipers, and in order to do that I'm going to get an assistant who's going to sit in the driver's seat and gently pump the pedal until we've pushed all the air out of the system to the calipers. Okay, in order to bleed the brakes, what I've got is this little bottle with a hose on it and a spanner. So I'm going to open the bleed nipple and my assistant is going to start pumping the brakes. And here comes the fluid. As you can see, this is the old fluid being pushed through because it's quite dark. There's a bit of air in there. Go a bit faster than that. Hold it down. Okay, bear with me, I'm just going to have one more go. Gonna have one more go. Hang on. Okay, go. Yeah, keep doing that. Hold it down. Okay. Right, that's this side. Let's get down to the other side. Okay, pump. Okay, hold it down. Okay, I reckon we're probably good. Let's go and check the pedal feel and see how we are. And then obviously I need to double check the level in the reservoir and make sure that that's perfectly good, but otherwise we should be good. Okay, obviously we've drawn a bit of fluid through, so we're now just here. We want to, we're above the minimum, but I want to just give it a little top up just to make sure that it's all good. So I'll get my pump again. Just give the reservoir a little top up. And there we are, we're actually at the max line. So I'm happy with that. The brake pedal action feels really good. Got a nice firm brake pedal. So I'm happy with that. Drain all this fluid back in here. So there we are. That is the rear brake lines replaced, and the fluid bled through, get all the air out, and the musters and the reservoirs all topped up, good to go. I would call that a job. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again on the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye now.